In a world of endless possibilities, where success is the destination, there is one guiding force that sets you on the path to greatness. Introducing Honors Way Group, your strategic partner in achieving growth and unlocking your true potential. With a proven track record of excellence and over 400 years of combined experience, Honors Way Group is the leader in commercial real estate, dedicated to driving results. But what sets us apart? It's our unwavering commitment to understand your unique goals and challenges.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining today. We are talking about the Prestige at Mayhill. And let's get this PowerPoint up. Can everybody see the slide?
Yes.
All right. We are now Zoom experts, I got to tell you. This is a look at our property in Northwest Austin. And it is 22 North, 240 units developed on 14 acres. 2018 was the end of the build, and it sold in 2021 for a profit of $22 million. Mike Carrasco has a lot of good experience in that project. And we took, this is a picture of the actual property. We took a lot of the architectural renderings, the floor plans, civil plans, construction budget, finance, stabilized year one, pro forma. We have leveraged as much as we can from the 22 North property to the Prestige at Mayhill. And that's really terrific. So Mike and I are really happy to present this short, deep dive, which was requested by some of our investors who saw us present at a very large real estate event this last weekend. So we appreciate your being here. Some new investors, some current investors. So why multifamily? And we have a lot of different experience levels on this call. For anybody who requests the deck and doesn't have it yet, let me know and we'll send it out. Everybody needs a place to live. People are moving to Dallas. They can't find a place to buy. They can't find a place to rent. So we're really running to meet this demand. Here are some statistics of how home ownership is in decline. Now, for different reasons in Dallas, because even though the rent rates in Dallas are higher than any other in the state of Texas, people are not able to find a place to live, rent, buy. But also home ownership is listed by PricewaterhouseCoopers or CBRE as being in declination. It's declining. So it's an interesting fact. We also have our market feasibility study, which was done in October 2022 and also redone just 2 weeks ago in August, at the beginning of August. We're almost into September now, right? There are also tax benefits, which are a little bit too detailed to go into, but the short story is that multifamily will depreciate the buildings and the infrastructure over the life of about 27 and a half years. This cost segregation study is when we will build one of our 10 buildings and we'll take that depreciation expense and we'll squeeze it into the first couple of years. So we share that with our investors, and it's a great way to have expenses against your capital gains and reduce your tax liability. So Mike, would you like to go ahead and I really like these pictures. I like the picture of looking under the canopy, like we're getting a sneak preview, but do you have some things that you can help us with on the 22 North project?
Sure. 22 North was built in Leander, Texas, which is a far northwest suburb of Austin. And Austin is a real challenge to find any multifamily approved properties, and it has been for some time now. And that's the reason why it ended up being built in Leander. It was an area where we could actually locate some multifamily approved property that we didn't have to go through the rezoning gyrations with the city, which can be extremely tough, time consuming, and add years to the timeline of getting a project developed. So the site was chosen in Leander, but one of the challenges that we did face there, which we happily aren't facing with this current project, is that Leander was kind of on the edge of development, and the demand, we were a little ahead of the curve for the demand for this type of product in Leander. And so it took a little bit longer to stabilize than what we would have liked, but it did stabilize and within reason. And it was a successful project in the end. But that was one of the big benefits, and one of the earmarks of this project is it's in a very high growth area, one of the highest growth areas in the entire North Dallas marketplace. And so we're really right on the sweet spot, if you will, for multifamily development in Dallas, Texas. And if you take the time to look at the feasibility study or the feasibility report that we just had redone, you'll see that Denton is one of the hottest areas for multifamily development in the greater Dallas marketplace. And so this is a very good project from that standpoint. Some of the highlights of this project, though, is that it had very good amenities. It had offered a safe, stable environment for the young professionals and professional market. And what we really target when we look at multifamily development, at least for our group, is that we're targeting two segments that renters really fall into. And it's going to be rent by necessity and rent by choice. And we choose to deal in the rent by choice segment. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I'll just highlight a couple of those. But the biggest one being is that you have a much lower turnover in tenant base when you have a rent by choice tenant base. And so that means that we don't have to turn the apartments once a year or even every other year. The average leasehold in a rent by choice is 4 to 5 years before they actually look to relocate into another community, and much longer even. And so what that means is we have a much more stable tenant base. Once you get the place stabilized, it remains stabilized, and you don't have that extra added expense of having to do make readies for every time you turn that apartment over. So that saves a lot in the operating cost. It saves a lot in the lost rent as you're making that unit ready and getting it leased out again. And so it offers us a number of advantages over a different class of property. And so those are the two big highlights that I'd like to point out, is that we're in a really dynamic area in the North Dallas marketplace, and we're segmented in the rent by choice renter segment. So that offers us a much more stable and a faster rent times to stabilization. So I think that's the two main things that we want to take away from there. The return on this property was really nice. As I said, it did take about a year longer than what we would have liked to stabilize, but that had to do with the location of the property of the site. And so we're really poised to see a much quicker lease up. And as DL kind of pointed out or highlighted in the previous slide, is, with the rising interest rates, it's really pricing a large segment of the first-time home buyers or these young professionals out of the market. and they just can't afford the type of property that they would like to move into, and so they're holding off and moving away from that. And then when they look at the cost of ownership on top of that, it really just doesn't make sense. And so they're choosing to rent as a lifestyle choice rather than to purchase and buy.
Those are really good points, Mike. Mike has about 28 years of commercial real estate experience, I believe. Construction management, construction finance, development experience. So, also commercial mortgage brokerage experience, coaching, commercial coaching. So this is not a team of 20 co-GPs with 1 or 2 years of experience. No, we have about 400 years of commercial and construction experience with seasoned professionals in the construction and commercial arena. So it's really setting us apart from other deals that you may see. When we're talking about the Dallas area, number 2 in construction in all of the nation. Dallas, the city of Dallas popped back first in the pandemic about a year before most cities in North America did, with retail and restaurants coming back online first, and also traffic jams. So we had our awesome traffic jams first, and that's a sign of a robust economy. 3% unemployment. And for this specific property, we have some great aspects that the Lord has opened doors for. It's very rare for land, but the way that we have done that is we've placed the entitlements there and found the property off market infill. It's not 2 hours away from Dallas, in Anna, Salina, Prosper, an hour away from jobs. So we've gone over a little bit in our executive team, and okay, great. Yeah, if you have a question, the chat is a great place to put that. But the short story is that we have about 400 years of commercial real estate and construction experience. We've signed contracts with our general contractor, civil architect, everybody to finish the project. And if you ask for this deck, we'll sure be happy to send it to you. I want to honor our time today and keep it brief. We can schedule a call to have a one-on-one personal strategy session to talk about your individual situation and requirements. We have talked a little bit about this. I'm going to skip forward a little bit and talk about the Dallas-Fort Worth market, because we have some folks who are outside of the market. Dallas has the top rents in the state of Texas. So rents are higher in Dallas than they are in Austin or Houston, of course. Dallas has the highest professional paying jobs in all of Texas as well. Dallas has about 2 or 3% vacancy rate on multifamily, which is super strong. And if you have a question, please put it in the chat, if you don't mind. Dallas has the highest paid professional jobs and in all of Texas. So very strong market, 3% unemployment. Now, if we look at the large map, this is where the property is located, right amongst all of these golf clubs, and in an A crime rate area, 96,000 median income. We're on an excellent grid for Dallas, Texas, and all of Texas. So 3 hospitals in the area. And then if you go shopping 1 or 2 miles away, we've got things like Kendra Scott and nice shopping places as well. So big infill area, which means there's a lot of utilities and a lot of traffic here. So here is the slide that Mike was talking about, renting to those who choose to rent, not to those who have to rent. And what happened here is we saw that rent moratorium. On 22 North during the pandemic, I only saw rent concessions, rent specials one time during the whole entire pandemic. And you've got those professional tenants in there, they're building their career, they are focused on building their career, and they just pay rent. That's it. So we are hitting 3 job markets: Plano, downtown Dallas on the light rail, and South Lake. And this is exciting because the Supreme Court told the CDC that rent moratorium was unlawful, but Congress could still do a rent moratorium. And we want to have an asset class that is recession proof. We are specifically choosing a recession proof property type. You've got your collateral, you've got your waterfall profits, but you also have risk mitigation in terms of what you want to work on, what you want to invest in. Here's some elevations. Mike, you want to speak a little bit to Glenn's elevations? These are 4-sided elevations.
Sure. Yeah, the elevations are showing, and we'll have renderings here shortly that kind of give you a better understanding. But they're going to be the finish on the outside will be multi, so you'll have some stone, some stucco, and I believe some brick as well. So it's going to be a really beautiful complex when it's complete. This is showing the 3-story. The 4th story will be very, very similar. We do have some units that will have 2 balconies, a few of the units. Okay, here's the 4th story. And and while the city does require that you have at least 3 finishes on the exterior walls, I think we're going to have 4 different finishes. And as I said, we're going to have some units that have dual balconies that would be premium units. I think Gail touched on the fact that we're going to have elevators in all of the 4th-story buildings, and they will also have elevator down to the underground parking. This was adds a lot of cost to the build, but it also adds a lot of benefit and allows us to get a premium rent when they have covered underground parking, which is secure, and that parking will be gated and card access. And so that'll have very, very safe environment for these tenants that choose to occupy these units. And a couple of the other things too is we're going to have all electronic locks on all of the buildings, and so throughout the entire complex, whether it be the clubhouse, the entry gates, the units themselves, and the parking garage will all have card key access. And so that's going to add an extra level of benefit there. We're adding some additional amenities, which are very unusual for apartment complexes, but we're going to have a type of valet service. And so they'll be able to do their dry cleaning, possibly some of their shopping, and some other benefits that will be able to utilize in the valet service. So this is going to give us kind of a hybrid of some of the concierge services and a full service hotel available to the tenants in here. And so this is going to allow us to get a premium rent and be on par with some of the same amenities that would be in some of the high-rise buildings that are drawing the highest rents in the greater Dallas marketplace. And so these would be categorized as a mid-rise at the 4-story level. And it will be a very unique product offering for the Denton marketplace. And so we will be one of the only 4-story multifamily complexes in that marketplace, which gives us another added benefit. And we should be the premier multifamily site when it is completed in the Denton marketplace. And so we feel very good about that. I think the other thing I want to touch on again is that, and DL did mention, is that we're right off the light rail line. So this is really a very convenient property. While it's a ways from the center of Dallas, it's a very convenient. It's walking distance to the train station. And so you could literally walk from the complex to the station without having to drive your vehicle at all and be downtown in 20 minutes or any of the other stops along the way. And so it could be stopping in Plano or Frisco or any of the other job markets as you head downtown. So very convenient for those ecologically minded people that they're not going to have to hop in. And I used to live in Dallas myself, and I can tell you one of the things that was most irritating about Dallas is having to deal with that traffic, and that added 2.5 to 3 hours a day onto your workday. And so this is a huge benefit of the location of this property, and I really can't highlight that and stress it enough of why this site is such a perfect site for this product, is having that light rail access, and then being, Dallas is a funny market in that a lot of the jobs reside outside of the city center. They're really in North Dallas, and so the Plano, South Lake, Frisco, those areas offer a lot of the job opportunities in the Dallas marketplace, and so it's really very, very convenient to that. And another thing about the Denton marketplace that we really haven't talked about is it has a very vibrant nightlife there. It has a lot of art, crafts, and art shows that come through. I think they have 4 or 5 of those a year. They have a lot of restaurants and bars for their young professionals, and so it's something that an area that I spoke to one of my friends who lives in South Lake recently, and he was just alluding to me that the Denton place is really the up and coming market for the young professional. He called them yuppies, which is probably an out of date term, but that's really, yeah. But it's really is an up and coming market and one of the fastest growing segments in the Dallas marketplace. And so that whole North Dallas area is really pushed out to Denton, and Denton is also the county seat, and so and has 2 universities there, as well as a thriving medical district there as well, which is very near the property as well. I think it's only a couple of blocks away. And so it really is a premier site to build this complex in and to build it at this level. And so with the elevator access, I think, correct me if I'm not right, but I think we have 2 elevators in these units. And
we have 7 buildings with elevators, and we have 7 elevators. We also have the elevator in the 2-story clubhouse.
Right. And so that's also nice. And so where, you get into the 3-story walk up, and the 3rd story really is a hindrance when you're dealing with a walk up product. And so by having that 4th story and adding the elevators, now your 4th story actually becomes a premium unit rather than a lesser unit in a 3-story type environment if you're comparing the two. Because of that elevator access.
Sorry.
So,
5 elevators, 7 buildings with 5 elevators.
Right.
I want to go on the record as being honest and transparent. Sorry about that. Hey, Mike, would you? I love listening to this and your knowledge and background about Texas. Can you share with us your activity on a number of developments?
Sure. As far as 22 North you're talking about?
Yeah, and you also worked on that Tennessee golf course.
Oh, sure.
Plan, right?
Yeah, just my background. So as Dale said, I've got over 25 years of commercial real estate experience and all forms between redevelopment and development, new construction, ground up, raw land development. We did a large single family community in Nashville and Franklin, Tennessee, which was Tanya Tucker's former estate, and we installed a 18-hole golf course there with a very high-end community, $1 million plus homes. We did that project several years ago. That was a single family development. I've done multiple multifamily developments in Tennessee, Texas, Florida, and California. Also, all types of retail development, a lot of QSRs or quick serve restaurant development. So development that spans multiple industries. We don't own a lot of multifamily in the own and operate area, but we love to develop new multifamily. We're just not all that big on operating it long term. Multifamily, you've got a lot of tenants and to deal with, and so we choose the properties we buy and hold or properties that don't require a lot of management intensive activities. But we certainly love to develop the multifamily, bring it to stabilization, and then sell that property off to the institutional investors. And that's kind of been the niche that we've chosen to take with all of the multifamily development. The previous multifamily projects that we've done have all been very successful. They've all been in this same luxury Class A environment, and that's worked very well for us. And so this is kind of a cookie cutter model, if you will, that we kind of rinse and repeat, if you will, and kind of do the same thing over and over again. So we want to be dealing in that Class A luxury, offering top amenities to the tenant. We feel like that offers us the best return overall on investment and stabilization, and also for from a resale standpoint for the institutional investors coming in to buy the place, that they're really highlighting and offers them that same benefit. Maybe other thing that I talk about that's going to be a little bit different on this project than what we've done on the other is we've chosen to go with a different construction methodology than what we've done in the past. Yep. Our previous complexes have been stick and brick type of construction, whereas this one we're using an ICF construction methodology, which means that it's a type of poured concrete form walls. And so that's insulated concrete forms is what ICF stands for. And it offers a lot of benefits, least of which is it withstands these things are built like bunkers because it's a concrete walled property. And so it's made to withstand the age of time. It also offers fire protection benefits, storm protection benefits, a lower cost of operation for the mechanicals. It also offers us some construction benefits in that it goes up much faster than a stick property would be, and strict construction methodology. We can deliver building, and what did they say the last time frame per building?
3 weeks for insulated concrete form versus 4 weeks for stick.
Yeah, and that's a best case scenario on the stick. It can take much longer, depending on the complexity of that. But these things go up very quickly, and they offer all of those operational benefits. And one of the other construction benefits of it is that all of our mechanicals can be downsized now. So all of our heating and AC units are much smaller than they would be in a traditional construction methodology. And so that's a cost savings there on the overall cost of creating the project. And It offers a higher resale value. Oh, the other thing is the insurance cost is much lower for
Definitely.
the build. And so all of these things equate to a higher resale value when we go to market, when we go to sell this property after stabilization.
And we do have a 9-minute video on insulated concrete form. The professionals do a great job at explaining all of those benefits that Mike ran through pretty quickly. And Mike had given us that idea to go with an alternative material type when lumber was at its highest. Now lumber is lower, but still insulated concrete form and stick are about the same price. And all those benefits, cost saving benefits, and faster. So thanks for going into that and helping everybody to understand the breadth and depth of your experience. Again, if you ask for the slide deck, we are happy to give it to you. And here's our contact information as well.
Thank you for joining us on this journey with Honors Way Group, where success meets innovations and possibilities become realities. At Honors Way Group, we believe your success is our success. That's why we are committed to delivering exceptional results. We're proud to have partnered with incredible people like you and witnessed their growth and achievements firsthand. Our team of dedicated experts, and did I mention that we have over 400 years of combined experience, is always ready to go the extra mile and drive measurable outcomes. Take the next step in your success and visit honorswaygroup.com today, and let's work together.